Hi Flosstube! My name is Kim and I'm Barbara's daughter. Welcome to my Flosstube channel. Thank you for stopping by and taking the time to watch my video today. I would like to start today by thanking some people who have shouted me out in their Flosstube videos. It's always super exciting to be watching someone and hear your name on their video. So the first person I wanted to mention, and I'll link all of these channels in the description box below, but the first person is someone who I had just started watching recently myself, and that's Shiloh, and her Flosstube channel is XStitchMD, and she's up in Canada. And I had watched her videos because one of my friends from my stitching group had mentioned her and shared a few things that Shiloh had shared on her video, which I then went and bought. So I'll show you that in my haul. So Shiloh is a really good enabler and you'll want to check her out. So thank you so much for the shout out. And also Georgia Girl Stitcher. She is another Flosstuber that's new to me, and I really appreciate the shout out from her too. She is, I seem to be watching a lot of Flosstubers who are also in the medical field, so that must be, I'm sure when you're in a field that is so intense and stressful like that, stitching must help a lot with relieving that stress and being a good hobby to have. So anyway, I've been watching a lot of medical professionals with their Flosstubes lately, and Georgia Girl Stitcher is from Georgia, but living, I think, in Ohio right now, but going to be moving to medical school back down south again. So she's got a really interesting story and some really great projects that she shared too, so go check her out. And finally, the last person I wanted to thank was Cynthia Brew. Her Flosstube channel is Cynthia Brew Stitching in the Light. And I have been going back and forth watching her videos, trying some of the craft projects that she has been doing besides just stitching. So I made those patriotic stars and those turned out great. And she showed a couple other things on her last video that I think I might try too. So if you're someone who likes stitching and other crafts, you might like to see what Cynthia's got going on her channel. So go check those Flosstubers out. And I just wanted to also, before I get into my stitching, mention that I'm going to do a giveaway today. I hit 3,000 subscribers over the course of the last week. And I just want to thank everybody so much for watching and subscribing. I never in a million years thought 3,000 people would care what I was stitching on. So it's kind of an overwhelming experience, but my mother did make some project bags, and so I'm going to be giving away this patriotic project bag. It has a blue star fabric on the back and a vinyl front, and then inside is the like a beige fabric with blue stars on it. So that one, and we'll go in the giveaway today. And also a fun summer bag. We've got beach umbrellas inside, again the vinyl front, and this fun blue print here. So I'm going to give away both of these project bags to 2 different people. If you want to be entered into the giveaway, all you have to do is leave a comment. So I'm just going to put everybody's, anyone who leaves a comment, I'll just do the random comment picker next time I do a video next Friday, and we'll see, we'll get 2 winners. So thank you again so much for watching and subscribing. It makes, it's really exciting to see someone commented, someone liked it, someone subscribed. That's a lot of fun for me to see. So I have a huge finish this week, unexpectedly. I filmed my last video early, I think on Thursday, because I had to put my computer, I had to give up my computer for a day or two. And so that Thursday and Friday, I worked on some whips, which I'll show you in a minute. And then Saturday and Sunday, I have been trying to stitch on Lady of the Flag during the day. And usually I'll do Lady of the Flag during the day and another project at night. And I get a good couple hours every day on the weekend to stitch because we're not really going anywhere still. New Jersey is still kind of locked down. So I've had a lot of stitching time on the weekends. And by Sunday afternoon, I was looking at it going, I wonder how long it would take me to actually finish the stitching on this, because I'm close, but not that close. But if I just worked on this for the rest of the week, could I get it done? And I did. I actually finished all the stitching on Lady of the Flag by Wednesday, this past Wednesday, 2 days ago. I'm super excited. If you follow me on Instagram, you will have seen these pictures already, but I'm going to show you what she looks like in one kind of far back shot because I can't fit her all in the camera getting up close. And then what I'm going to do is put in some pictures here of up close photos that I had put on Instagram so you can see up close while I'm talking about her a little bit. So Lady of the Flag was stitched on 32 count vintage blue whisper, and I used the called for DMC threads. I did substitute petite treasure braid for the Krynic that is called for, and I have not done the beading yet. So I have put this aside in my project roll. I'm going to leave it there for a couple weeks, take a break, and then in June I'm going to come back and do the beading. When I decided I wanted to do Lady of the Flag, I first had to get a pattern because I didn't have it. And the second reprinting of it came out right when I was starting up with cross stitch again. And I was like, oh, I don't know, I like it, but it's so big, and I wasn't really doing big projects then, so I didn't buy it. And then like a year later when I was like, oh, I really want to do Lady of the Flag, you couldn't find it. I mean, hundreds of dollars on eBay for a pattern. So my good friend Regina came through and let me borrow her pattern. Thank you so much, Regina. I'm keeping it safe and sound, and as soon as I can see you again, I will bring you the pattern. So I knew that this was going to be a long-term project. I started it December 22nd, 2018. So it's been about a year and a half since I started, and I didn't work on it exclusively, but just on and off here and there. And so I watched Jessie Marie's videos on Lady of the Flag as she posted progress on it, and also she has like a beading video. It's not exactly a tutorial, but she shares what she uses, and she it's like a Stitch With Me video where she's doing the beading. So I will try and find that and link that video below here too, because I have to rewatch it so that I can do the beading on this. But I purchased pretty much what she used. So the vintage blue whisper fabric was hers. She used the petite treasure braid instead of the Krynic, and she uses Delica beads instead of Mill Hill. And the reason for that, I think, is because they're shaped a little more consistently. They're definitely like perfect cylinders. I don't know how well you'll be able to see that, but these are just one color of the beads. And I bought mine from Fusion Beads, which is an online website that I think Jessie Marie suggested. I also bought Nymo, N-Y-M-O thread to use, and I just got the white thread that I'm gonna try. I got a tacky bob, so my understanding, this is sticky in here, and you just put your beads in here so they stick to it, and then use your needle to pick them up one at a time. So that's what I'm planning on doing. And I got some beading needles too, a couple different kinds to try. So in June, I'll give that a shot and see how the beading goes. I think there's about 250 beads. I think I read that somewhere. 250 beads on Lady of the Flag, maybe a little less, maybe a little more. I have no idea how long it's going to take me to do that. So we will see once we get started. So I was so excited to finish that. I felt like it was a major accomplishment in stitching, and I love how it turned out. My husband is going to build me, make a frame for it, which I think will be really neat because it's a project that I invested so much time in, and so to have a frame that he's built will be exciting. So he kind of was looking at the measurements today of how big it should be, and I have to order some spacers to go between the glass and the piece because I don't want the stitching touching the glass, and I have to figure out where to order the glass from. All of this will have to happen once things open up a little bit because I can't get to a craft store yet to order the glass, or a frame store to order the glass. So I'll have to do that when we get a little more open around here. So that was my only finish, but it was a big one. I'm going to show you a couple whips. This I worked on before I started working on Lady of the Flag last Thursday and Friday. I worked on Brickhouse Sampler by With Thy Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. So I'll put a picture here of what this will look like when it's finished. You'll be able to tell though, because this is pretty much, I'm at the halfway point pretty much. I am making a few changes to this though. So let me just get this on the board and then I'll show you what I mean. So this is where I am right now. I basically finished the bird, did the letters, and did the tree here, the plants that are down under this tree. And so I have the whole left side done, and I have to go over and repeat all that and the flowers, the vines down below too, on the right side. So on the pattern, as you can see, I have made some changes. There were some green blocks that had sheep in them, and nothing against sheep, but I just didn't like that part of it, so I took it out. And those plants that are down on the bottom there are on top of the green blocks, so I just moved them down to the ground. Now I feel like there's a little bit of room here. I could maybe put a branch going down here, and there's a little bit of space over here. So I might fill that in with something once I finish the other side. I want to see what it looks like when I've finished the other side. So that is with my needle and thread, Brickhouse Sampler. I'm having a hard time remembering that name today. And I use 32 count Picture This Plus Ale, and not the called for colors, just colors from my stash. This red, which I really like here, is called Prim Christmas, and that's by Victorian Motto. And I'm anxious to get this done because I want to use that Prim Christmas for something else, which I'll talk about a little later. So that is one of the whips that I worked on. And then I also worked on Oh Joyous Day by Blackbird Designs. Last time I showed you this, I had done the top row of the flowers, I think, and also made my way, I can't remember if I had made my way down to start the house yet or not in my last video. It's all kind of a blur. When you don't go out of your house to go to work every day, the days kind of blur together, so I'm having trouble remembering what I showed you last time. But I made a little bit of progress. I only worked on this last night because I was busy with Lady of the Flag. So I went and finished the side border down to the second section. I started the bird. I did this little plant here. And I can't remember if I had the house done last time you saw it, but it is definitely done now. A couple little motifs up here too. So my goal this week is to finish that section. And then there'll only be one more section down here, which is not the exact same flowers as the top, but it's like a repeat floral section. So this is coming along really well. And I have 2 or 3 other blackbirds that are pretty big ones that I really want to do, but I'm making myself finish this one first because I love it. And I know it's mania and we can start all the things, but I do really like finishing stuff too. So I'm going to work on this until it's finished, and then I'll start a different blackbird. The last thing that I worked on is a new start, and it's by Hands Across the Sea Samplers. It's a little gem, which are PDF patterns that she's releasing during this time of social distancing. This is what I printed out. I'm not sure the colors are great because my printer is not really good. We're getting a new printer, so then I should have really nice colors coming out of my new printer, but I haven't gotten that yet. So I just started the left side border, and that is the whole thing all the way down, but I didn't do the flowers on all of it yet. And I'm using the called for DMC colors. Try to get out. And they're really very pretty colors. And this is 36 count Havana by Color and Cotton. So I'm excited to get back to this. I started this project, I think Saturday night, and then on Sunday I decided I was going to do Lady of the Flag until it was finished. So Sarah Spencer got no more love for the rest of the week, but this week I'm hoping to get back to her, and I'd like to finish the border so that I can move on to the more, I like the motifs better than the border. So I feel like I don't always try and get it all done at once, but I might try and do that this time. Just go around, do the border, and then do all the fun parts inside. So some haul to talk about. and happy mail, stitchy mail. I did get a thank you card from Eva because I had sent her, she had won the patriotic pattern, Jeanette Douglas pattern. I was having a hard time with my words today. It was Patriotic Sampler from Jeanette Douglas. Thank you so much, Eva. It's always nice to get mail. And I did buy some haul, of course. I had watched Farm Girl. Her latest video came out last week, I think. And she had shown her work on American Sampler. Now, this is just my working copy here. But if you haven't seen it, American Sampler by Plum Street Samplers. This is huge. I love it, but the hugeness of it was keeping me from starting it right away. But when I saw hers, and I just love the colors of it, I said, all right, that's it. Gotta get that started. So I have a piece of Misty Purcell from Luminous Fiber Arts, her Sparrow fabric, which is her newest color. And I think that's going to look really good for this with the called for threads. Imagine that. I'm using the called for threads because the thing I like so much about Farm Girl's piece was the colors. I hope she's using the called for colors. I didn't really, it looked like she was, but I didn't really check. But I got the called for colors on this. This is 36 count Sparrow that I'm going to do it on. So I'm going to hopefully start that sometime this week. Today is Friday. I took today off. I took a personal day, even though I'm working from home. If I don't use my personal days, I lose them. So I figured, all right, I will take that. And so I have today, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday off for Memorial Day. Happy Memorial Day, by the way. So that should be some really good stitching. I cleaned my whole house today. So now I have 3 days of stitching. And I have to feed the kids occasionally, but other than that, stitching. So American Sampler will get started. That's an appropriate start for Memorial Day, I think. And so I had bought the floss as part of my haul. I got the floss just from 123 Stitch. And then, of course, because you can't just buy floss from 123 Stitch, right? I got this pattern from La-Di-Da. I have not stitched anything by La-Di-Da, but I have seen a lot of things that I like. This is called Bushel and a Peck. It says, I love you, a bushel and a peck, and a hug around the neck. My grandmother used to sing that to all 4 of us kids. I just think it'd be nice to stitch that, and it looks pretty small. I don't know what this is, 110 by 147, so it won't take that long to do. So I'm excited about that. And then, because I can't get enough of the Blackbird, I had this on my wish list at 123 Stitch. It's called Bluebird of Hope. It's Bluebird of Happiness, excuse me. It's a loose feathers pattern in the Abecedarian series. This is number 5, and they do show on the back I think there are 10 of them altogether, and they show 6 of them. And they're all wonderful, but I don't think I would stitch them all. I know I showed you the loose feathers, the bird series, I forget what it's called, that I'm going to do all 9 of those. They're much smaller. This one, these aren't too big, but this is 89 by 120, so it's not too big. But I'm going to do this one as well. I love stitching birds. And a house and an alphabet, and I'm a happy girl. So I got that from 123 Stitch. Then on Stash Unload, I found this Blackbird pattern. It is Stars and Stripes. It's an older one, I think 2003 or 4 it said. 2003. And I might start that this weekend too, because Memorial Day, patriotic. And this looks like it would be a pretty quick stitch. It's a lot of letters and, lines and stuff. So I think that would be good. And then the person I ordered it from also included this little free pattern. Well, free to me. I think from what I understand, she was cleaning out inventory from a shop, because it says on it Hoops and Needles from Walpole, Massachusetts. So if any of you have ever been to Hoops and Needles, that's where these came from. And this is a very nice pattern, but just maybe not my style. So I'll probably give that away at some point. I'm going to put that in my giveaway box. So that was very nice of her to send me a free chart when I bought the Blackbird designs. And then let's talk about all the PDFs I bought and downloaded this week. So I mentioned at the beginning of my video Shiloh from X Stitch MD, and the reason I found out how I found out about Shiloh, she has a couple videos out, but I think she's, like me, relatively new to Flosstube. A friend of mine had posted in a Facebook group that we have a pattern that I really liked, and I had never seen it before, and apparently Shiloh had purchased this pattern and shown it on her video. So as I got to talking to my friend, she mentioned her and mentioned that she had shouted me out too. So then I went to Shiloh's channel and I went down a rabbit hole and watched all her videos. But as I said, my printer's not that great, so I'm going to put a picture of the patterns that I bought here as I talk about them. The first one, and the one that led me down to purchase all of these, is called Like a Cherry Blossom. And this is by Stitches Through the Years. She has an Etsy shop. I'll try and remember to link that below. And this is just, I mean, I just love the sampler. There's nothing I do not like about this. I'm going to do this one in the called for colors because I love them. And her charts are really nice. You can print out, there's a black and white copy and a color copy. And really easy to read, really nice. So Like a Cherry Blossom, that's on my list to start on my immediate radar. And then I also saw, because I was there, Sampler Hope, which has an Emily Dickinson quote on it, which I really like. When I taught 4th grade, we used to read a story about Emily Dickinson, and it was fictional. It was about a little girl who met Emily Dickinson without knowing who she was, and read her poems and things like that. And so I kind of have a soft spot for Emily Dickinson and her poetry, but I like the sampler for that quote, and also all the little bird motifs. Love birds. And then the third one I bought from her was the Always Flowers sampler, which I thought was just super cute as well. So I have those 3, and I'm really looking forward to getting those kitted up. My birthday is in June, so my husband loves it when I say to him, oh, don't buy me a present, I'll just go buy some cross-stitch stuff. Makes it really easy for him. I get what I like. It's a win-win. So I think I'm going to kit up those, at least the 2 of them, the Emily Dickinson one and the first one, the Like a Cherry Blossom. I might save the Always Flower sampler and kit that up later. And the last thing I purchased, also PDFs, were from my friend Arlene Cohen's shop. She is Works by ABC on Etsy, and she's actually having an anniversary sale right now. It's her, I think it's her 3rd year of her Etsy store. And so I'm going to just put in pictures of the patterns that I purchased from her shop, and I'll link that shop down below. I think her sale goes till the end of May, so probably another week or so left, and it was 15% off, I believe, all the patterns in her shop, so you might want to go check that out. A bunch of us in my stitching group are doing the band sampler that she designed, and I'm excited to do that. I might do that repeating over a couple times on an actual band, and wrap that around a spool. I'm not sure. I haven't figured that out yet. I'm waiting for my new printer to get here to print the patterns out, so I want to print them out so they are nice and I can see them clearly, and then I'm going to figure out what fabric am I going to use. Do I need banding? You know, what am I going to do with that? So I'm excited about all those, and go check out Arlene's shop. The other thing I was going to mention is I had shown the Prim Village pattern and talked about picking more primitive colors, and I think I had shown you those maybe last week or the week before, the ones that I was planning on doing, and I was ready to start it, and I kept pulling it out and then not starting it, and I was like, I don't know, maybe these colors aren't right. And usually I'm not like that. Usually I'm like, great, we need a green, here's the green I want. I make a decision pretty quickly and move forward, but I just did not know about those colors. So I brought everything back downstairs to where all of my floss is, and I pulled it out and I said, maybe I need something, a softer palette, like primitive, but not dark primitive. Maybe I need like pastels. So I pulled some floss I still didn't like, and I just could not figure out what was wrong. Why didn't I like this floss? And then on, I think it was Facebook, I saw this picture that I'm going to insert right here of the Prim Village done in red and green Christmas colors, Christmas houses. And I said, well, that's why I haven't started it, because I need to do this in Christmas colors. So the person who I saw post it in like Stitch Mania or one of those Facebook groups, I don't recall her name. I just saved the picture so I could remind myself. And I did pull some flosses, but I don't have a lot of reds, although that Prim Christmas from Brickhouse Sampler I might use. But what I did was I emailed Nancy Turner at Victorian Motto, and I said, Nancy, here's this picture. I need 6 reds and 6 greens that would work with this. What do you have? So she's going to take a look and see what she has and send me 6 reds and 6 greens, because you have to pair them. So you have to have a red that is darker with a red that is lighter so that you can see the difference that the house is 3-dimensional. So I'm going to see what she has, and even if she sends me some and I use some of what she sends me and some of what I already have in my stash, I know I will always use Victorian Motto floss. So I'm excited about that. And when that comes in, I will be sure to show you which floss I have officially picked, even though I've already showed you floss for that pattern. That's not what I'm using. So now I will show you the Christmas colors that I pick when I finally get to that. So I think that's everything for today. Don't forget to leave a comment if you'd like to be entered in the project bag giveaway. Just don't say giveaway, please, in the comments. There's no special word that you have to say. I'll just enter everyone who leaves a comment. And next Friday, when I do my next video, I'll draw 2 winners, one for each of the project bags. I hope that you are all well and staying safe and healthy and getting lots of stitching done. And I will see you next week. Bye-bye.